one, we're going to simplify rational expressions. We're going to put them in radical form. And the conditions for simplifying rational expressions are here. We don't want negative exponents. We don't want fractional exponents in the denominator. We want to simplify complex fractions. We don't want a complex one. And the index of any remaining radical is as small as possible. For example, if you have a 6 over 5, that's not small as possible. So we will simplify things like that. So the first one we're going to have is pretty basic. Since the index is here, 3/4 and 5/4, my roots are the 4s. So I'm going to write this as a radical, and that's the 4th root, and keep my powers inside the radical. So that's m to the 3rd and n to the 5th. In this case, my roots are not the same for the index numbers, so I'm going to make them the same. So I'm going to have the common denominators as 12. So what number times 3 is 12? 4. 4 times 1 is 4. What number times 6 is 12? 2. 2 times 1 is 2. And this one just stays the same. So since all my roots of the index numbers are the same, I'm going to write the 12th root of a to the 4th, b squared, and c to the 5th. Okay, the next ones are going to get a little more complicated. We have this expression. So I'm going to go ahead and write it as a rational form. Now I'm going to write it with the common denominator. So my common denominator is 6 because of 2 and 3. So what times 2 is 6? That's 3, so that's 3, 6. What times 3? What number times 3 is 6? 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Now that I have the same base, I can add these using my properties of exponents. This is your product rule. And this is 2 to the 11, 6. So my base is 6. And I'm going to write something out. This is not the final answer, but if I wrote this out, this would be 6 to 2 to the 11th. And that means there's 11 2s. And I'm going to be silly here and write them all out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll just move that there. Well, I can take 6 of these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because the 6th root of 2 to the 6th is just 2. So I can take these out, and I'm left with 5 inside. Okay, so a simpler way of doing that is you're going to divide this. So 6 goes into 11 one time, and you're left with your remainder of 5. So the remainder of 5 stays in, but I can bring one of the 2's out like I did here. Okay? The next one is here, so I'm going to just kind of simplify this as 4 to the 3/7, x to the 3/7, and y to the 2/7. So my root is 7, and I have 4 cubed, x cubed, and y squared. And further, I can cube my 4, and 4 cubed is 64. Okay? And the next one is this one. Again, there's a bunch of 2 stuff going on. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and take these 2 first. What you should do probably on this one, there's so many ways you can do this one. I'm going to just change my mind how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my bases all the same. So the base is going to be 2. So that's 2 cubed to the 1/2 This one is 2 to the 5th, the 1/2. And this is just 2 to the 1/2 power. Now, so when I do this, I can combine all these as 2 to the 3/2, 2 to the 5/2, 2 to the 1/2. Then using my product property of exponents, I can add all these up. And that's going to give me 2 to the 9/2. And just like the previous one we did, I'm going to go ahead and take 2 goes into 9. 2 goes into 9 4 times. So that's going to be 8. And I'm left with 1. So my remainder is 1. So I'm still going to have the square root here. And I'm only going to have 1 2 inside. Okay? But I can pull 4 2's out. So that would be 2 times 2 times 2. And that would give you, so I can bring out 4 2's. And that's going to give you 16. So your final answer is 16 times the square root of 2. Again, there's other ways you can do it. If you want to do it a different way, that's fine. But this is one strategy. Okay, the next one is here. This one's basically very simple. With the 5th root of 6 squared, I pull my roots out, and y to the 8th. My powers stay inside. So this would be 36 y to the 8th. Next one is this one. So this one has the negative exponents. So I think what I'm going to do first is go ahead and write this as a to the negative 1/3 and b to the 2/3. So all I did was multiply, use the product property of exponents. Now what this is actually is b to the 2/3 over a to the 1/3. Alright? So we don't want, that's going to leave, we have an exponent in the denominator, so what I can do is multiply my numerator and denominator, as long as I do the same, is a to the 2/3 times a to the 2/3, because this equals 1. And what you'll get is a to the 2/3 times b to the 2/3. And the reason we did that is so we don't have an exponent in the denominator, is when you add these up, a to the 1/3 plus 2/3, you get a to the 3/3, which equals a to the 1st power. So you just have a. And that looks nicer. Okay, we've got 2 more here. So I'm going to just kind of take care of this first. I have 8 to the negative 2/3, x to the negative 12/3, and y to the 18/3. Now simplifying this, well, first I'm going to just write this as 8 to the negative 2/3. This will be x to the negative 4 and y to the 6th. And so that means I can move these two down in the denominator because of the negative. So I have y to the 6th, and I'm going to go ahead and cube root my 8 squared. When I bring him down, the exponent goes away. So basically, bringing the 8 down takes away the negative, but you can write this as a radical. So it helps if you do that, because when you do that, you're going to get the cube root of 8 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So this value here is just 4. Or you could do cube root of 64, because I just took that as 64 and you get 4. So we get y to the 6th over 4, because this equals 4, x to the 4th. And the last one we have is this one. So I'm just going to multiply my exponents using the power property. That's going to be 12 over 15 n to the 6 over 10. Okay, so I don't like this one so much, so, oh, I can reduce it. Oh, good. So we have m, let's make them 5s. I want all this to be 5, so I have to divide this, reduce this with 5 in the denominator. I want 5s. I want them to be the same. So to reduce this, that would be dividing by 3, so that's going to be 4/5, and this one would be 3/5. So you're going to get the 5th root of m to the 4th n cubed, if they want you to write it that way. But this right here is a good answer right there. And that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.